With me today, I have a 2013 Fiat 500 Abarth, and I'm going to tell you why it's the best used hot hatch you can buy for under $10,000. Let's start with styling. Now, the base Fiat 500 isn't a particularly aggressive car, but with the Abarth, you do get a little bit more detail on the hood, extra air vents to keep the engine cool, and most importantly, the Abarth logo. The base model Fiat 500 gets the same rounded headlights, rounded turn signals, but in the Abarth, you also get a pair of rounded fog lights. You get a full sunroof, and of course, we can't forget about the front splitter. Coming to the side profile of the car, we find 5 more Abarth logos, 2 on either wheel and 1 behind the door. You also get a side skirt, the smallest mud flap known to mankind, and this little tiny wing that gives you all the downforce that you'll ever need. You also note just how wide these doors are. The car is only 140 inches long, and it seems like these doors take up a big chunk of that. To give you guys perspective on just how big these doors are compared to the car, you can see I'm parked in the middle of the spot here, and the door comes all the way out over into the other spot. Moving to the rear of the car now, you can see the spoiler from the back. You get these surprisingly functional air vents and a dual exhaust, and just wait until you hear the sound it makes. As we open the hatch, we can see there's actually quite a bit of storage room for this small of a car. We also get maybe the world's smallest sunshade, and the back seats do fold down to provide extra storage, but don't let me fool you, I definitely moved those front seats forward. Inside, you get a 5-speed manual transmission, a steering wheel wrapped in leather, red stitching, and a flat bottom, and traditional handbrake. Now, being a car owned by Chrysler in 2013, the interior quality is somewhat lacking. The steering wheel here and the shift knob here, as well as the infotainment system, do show a little bit of wear and tear, but it is a 12-year-old car. These knobs are just cheap plastic. This one, interestingly enough, is in the shape of a Fiat 500. The gauge cluster in this car is quite unique. On the outside, you get the speedometer, and on the inside, you get the tachometer. It also comes with a boost gauge and a shift light, which makes you feel like you're in a bit of a race car. Infotainment is somewhat lacking and also a bit of a nuisance to use. Most cars, they give you a dial to turn the volume up or down or to adjust the radio, but in this car, it's a button. So if you want to raise volume, it's a click, 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 click. And if you want to lower the volume, same thing on the way down. Now, as a driver, you do get quite a bit of room. That is if you don't care about your rear passengers. I do struggle to fully press down the clutch pedal if the seat is moved all the way back. So, if I move the seat slightly forward, I can fully reach the clutch pedal, and because there's a sunroof, I actually have quite a bit of headroom here. So, as a driver, it is really quite comfortable. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are curious just how roomy the back seats actually are. And the truth is, they aren't. Let me show you what I mean by that. For reference, I'm 6'5". The front seat is all the way forward, and my knees are dug into the back of the seat. Now, if I sit back, the camera won't be able to see me here. My head is about a 90-degree angle right now because it is hitting the back of the car. Now, if I really lean back, my head actually hits the back window of the hatch. So carrying passengers might be a little bit of a hassle, but I found one hack for that. If you sit sideways, you actually have quite a bit of room back here, and it's quite comfy. But I don't think the law is going to like that very much. Overall, I do really enjoy the interior of this car, especially from a driver's perspective. The flat bottom steering wheel, the thumb points are at just the right spot. The shift knob seems to be in a great spot as well, with some really nice throws. The unique gauge cluster along with the boost gauge and the shift indicator is a really nice touch also. And now, it is finally time to drive it. So I know you guys have all been waiting to see just what is the Fiat 500 Abarth like to drive, and that's exactly what we're about to do right now. So we're taking off here. This 2013 Fiat 500 Abarth comes with a 1.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 160 horsepower and 170 pound-feet of torque. Now, it doesn't sound like all that much, but the car only weighs 2,500 pounds, so that means it's light. Oh, she's still rolling. She's getting away from me. There, stop. Oh. Handbrake to the rescue. I wish I would have recorded a video when I very first got the car, because the excitement on my face, the surprise of just how quick this thing is, just how loud it sounds with that little 4-cylinder engine roaring behind me, is just absolutely incredible. And I don't have that same reaction, but it still puts a smile on my face every single time I get into the car. And I've had a lot of really unique and fun cars, and this one, honestly, I think might be my favorite. So that's one of the reasons I really love this car. Is you can't get in it, you can't drive it without enjoying yourself. It's impossible. Even as I drive it now, I'm just cruising along at 30 miles an hour. I can hear the exhaust behind me. I can hear the turbo spool up every time I press on the gas. And it is just, it's something to behold. You can't even pick it up on camera because you're not in here to experience it with me. And the funny thing about this car is that I feel like if I slam on the brakes, I might just go rolling down the highway like a kickball. I absolutely love the way this car drives around town. The suspension is a little stiff, as you can tell. The camera's a little shaky there, but it's not the end of the world because it makes you feel like you are in more of a sports car. It's very grounded. So I'm gonna give it some juice here at this stop sign. The smile it puts on my face every single time. Now, the key to unlocking this car is actually the sport button. Most cars that you drive, when you press the sport button, it really doesn't make any sort of difference at all. But with this car, it's everything. I don't drive this car if it's not in sport mode. And that's because sport mode engages torque at a lower end, which means I can get off the line quicker. It's a little more snappy. I'll demonstrate that just now. Sport button's pressed, right on the stop sign, and there I go. You can kind of tell it has a little less bog, a little tire spin. You really can open this thing up with that sport button on. Once the turbo kicks in, it really moves. You can feel the difference. And on your nice little boost gauge here, you can see exactly when it's actually going to kick in. A little bit of tire spin in second at 40 miles an hour. What? What? In a Fiat 500? It's not something you'd expect to hear. That's for sure. It just brings a smile to your face. I'm going 20 miles an hour, but I feel like I'm flying because the exhaust note behind me is otherworldly for a 4-cylinder. Never experienced anything like it. If I give it a little bit of juice here, you know just what I'm saying. There's no other car that I've ever driven that makes me smile this much. And that's because this car is so unexpected. Everything about it is unexpected. You hear Fiat 500 and you kind of cringe a little bit when you put the word sporty in the same sentence because it doesn't add up. But if you say Abarth, now that's a different story. Because this thing packs a punch for the little car that it is. And man, is it a joy. Unbelievable. So that is the Fiat 500 Abarth. A surprisingly fun hot hatch. That sounds like a monster. So I want to know, would you buy one?